My name is Todd Orr, and I was nearly killed by a grizzly bear.
On the morning of October 1st, 2016, Todd Orr found himself facing a life-threatening situation in the wild, untamed lands of southwestern Montana. What began as a serene hike into the high country would on this day turn into a harrowing encounter with a grizzly bear, an experience that would unfold in unprecedented 2 times on what would be one of the most extraordinary encounters of human and bear in recorded history. In the break of an early fall morning in 2016, 50-year-old trail engineer and knife maker Todd Orr ventured into Montana's breathtaking Madison Valley in hopes of scouting elk. This particular region of the country is known for its beautiful landscapes, pristine rivers, and abundant wildlife. Nestled between the Madison Range to the east and the Grizzly Range to the west, the valley is located in the southwestern part of Montana, extending from West Yellowstone to Ennis and beyond. The region is defined by the Madison River, which flows through it, offering excellent opportunities for fishing, particularly trout. The valley is furthermore home to an impressive variety of wildlife, making it an attractive destination for nature enthusiasts as well as outdoor adventurers. Among the large mammals inhabiting the region are elk, mule deer, white-tailed deer, moose, bighorn sheep, as well as mountain goats. Additionally, several carnivorous species can also be found in the area. This includes gray wolves, black bears, as well as, of course, grizzly bears. Approximately 3 miles into his hike, Todd would suddenly stumble upon a sow grizzly and her 2 cubs. The mother bear spotted Todd and hastily retreated with her cubs over a ridge. Todd then cautiously waits for a moment before continuing eastward, away from the bears. As he moved forward, a noise caught his attention. The very same sow grizzly was charging him from about 40 yards, coming fast and low to the ground, and ears laid back. Despite her enormous size, Todd would note that her speed was astonishing. Instinctively, Todd then grabs the bear spray from his chest holster and would then begin shouting, hoping this would scare the bear and cause it to retreat. Despite his efforts, the bear would unfortunately show no signs of stopping. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Todd would then discharge the bear spray at the charging animal. The bear's momentum then carried her through the orange cloud of pepper mist as she barreled into Todd. It's at this point that Todd turns away, dropping to the ground, and locks his arms around his head and neck in an attempt to shield them. The grizzly then proceeded to viciously bite his arms, shoulders, and back, the sound of crushing and tearing muscles filling his ears. Just as suddenly as she had appeared, the bear then disappeared, likely a result of the bear spray's effect. At this point, he quickly assesses his injuries, which were severe but not immediately life-threatening. Convinced that the bear was gone, he then starts back towards the trailhead, which was 3 miles away. Despite the blood seeping through his clothing, he maintained a steady pace, hoping to put as much distance between himself and the bear as possible. Just as Todd began to feel safe, the unthinkable would happen. Like something out of a horror movie, the protective grizzly sow would then reappear, charging him for a second time. Barely having any time to react before the bear was once more upon him, Todd would then resume his protective stance and bore the brunt of the bear's furious attack as it bit his arms and shoulders with even more aggression than before. As he felt the grizzly's teeth sinking deep into his flesh with each bite, he screamed in agony at the intense pain as he heard the crunch of bone breaking in his left forearm. It was at this point that for a brief moment, the bear would suddenly cease its onslaught, standing on top of Todd in complete silence. The weight of the enormous creature was crushing, and a helpless and horrified Todd could hear and feel the bear's breath on his neck. Fearful that any moment would provoke another attack, he would at this point lay as still as possible. And after a few incredibly long-seeming moments, the bear would then finally once again depart. Todd then cautiously surveyed his surroundings, at which point he realized that his pistol had been ripped from his body during the attack. To his relief, he would find the weapon nearby after a brief search, and would then much more confidently, with his pistol and bear spray at the ready, journey his way down the trail. A few moments later, Todd would assess his wounds and manage the bleeding as best as he could. His injuries were undoubtedly severe, but he had full faith that he could make it to his truck and drive himself to the hospital. He would then, just a few more moments into the hike, encounter a rancher whom he asked to call the hospital to alert them of his impending arrival. Upon reaching the trailhead, Todd would then attempt to leave a warning note for other hunters, but his injured arm would make it impossible to write legibly. Realizing that he had survived a near-death experience, Todd then decides to document the moment by taking photos and a video of his injuries, one that would go viral. As a side note, due to the restrictive nature of this platform, I'm not able to post that video here, as it does show a bit of gore and some blood. His scalp was hanging off his forehead, so I'm not able to show that on this platform. I will, however, about 24 hours after the posting of this video, upload that video to Rumble for you. And once again, to access this channel's Rumble, all you gotta do is Google "when animals attack," that's with no spaces, and then Rumble right after it, and you should find it on one of the top links. Todd would then cover the truck seat with jackets to soak up the blood and would rush to the hospital. Upon arriving, Todd was met by a doctor, nurse, and local sheriff's officer. His injuries, including a broken ulna bone, deep puncture wounds on his arm and shoulder, and a 5-inch gash on the side of his head, would take the medical team 6 hours to stitch closed. Todd's left forearm would require surgery to repair the severed tendons and shredded muscle. Numerous nerves had also been damaged, and he anticipated many months of physical therapy to regain the use of his arm and hand. The harrowing experience would leave him with lasting physical reminders, including a deep scar on the side of his head. In the end, Todd Orr survived a situation that would, to most ears, sound like a surefire death sentence: a double grizzly attack. His determination, presence of mind, and sheer willpower saw him through his incredible ordeal, and his story serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. This enthralling story encourages us not to just approach our adventures in the wilderness with caution and humility, but also to seek a deeper understanding of the captivating dynamics that govern the complex ecosystems we so often take for granted.
For those who venture into bear country for activities such as, say, fishing or hiking, the following key tips could save your or another's life. Always carry bear spray and make sure it is easily accessible. This is a highly effective deterrent and can save your life in the event of a bear encounter. Learn how to identify signs of bear activity, such as tracks, scat, and claw marks on trees. This can help you avoid areas where bears may be more active. Make noise while hiking, especially in areas where visibility is limited or the wind is blowing. This alerts bears to your presence and can prevent a surprise encounter. Hike in groups if possible. Bears are less likely to approach a large group of people than a single hiker. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Look for signs of bear activity and keep an eye out for potential escape routes in case of an encounter. If you do encounter a bear, stay calm and try to remain still. Slowly back away while keeping your eyes on the bear. Do not run or turn your back on the bear, as this can trigger an attack. Finally, always follow local regulations and guidelines for bear safety. These regulations are put in place for a reason and can help keep both bears and humans safe in the wild. A big thank you to all our patrons and subscribers for their continued support as the channel nears 100k subscribers. This truly means the world to us. If this episode piqued your interest, then the previous one about a lesser-known fatal crocodile attack is likely to do the same. You can find it on the end screen of this video.